So, very recently, I posted this video. Steven Crowder just got exposed by ex-employee. Once the news came out, once the defense came out, my comment section just has been overrun by f***ing simps. What's bad about this, Crowder released all the documents and witness statements that show Jared is lying. Doesn't look good when you make claims that are then, within a few hours, disproven. Just here to point and laugh at Jared. You spoke too soon. Louder with Crowder just just today posted all the court documents. This is all about Crowder's divorce. You are an idiot if you believe Jared. There's proof against what he says. What happened, what came out here was something by the CEO from Louder with Crowder. Basically, their overall defense is that this is an attempt to extort Crowder.
I just want to say off the top that none of this had to happen. None of it. Didn't have to be this way at all. We didn't choose this. It was chosen for us. In fact, as I'll tell you in just a few minutes, we went to great lengths to give people the ability to do the right thing.
This instantly, like, he sounds like a villain from a movie, or at least like some kind of a narcissist, because he's like, this didn't have to happen. You could have avoided all of this, but you forced my hand. You could have stuck to your agreement. The whole thing is that the agreement was not fair, was exploitative. The whole claim that Jared made was that he was essentially coerced into signing that agreement. So you being like, you could have avoided it, you know? You could have just stuck to your agreement. The whole contention is around the agreement.
To honor their agreements and to do what they said they were going to do. Unfortunately, they chose a different path. For the last year and a half, everything you've seen in the public eye has been part of a well-orchestrated plan. What is that plan? To assimilate damaging PR assets and wage a negative publicity campaign against Steven.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop you right there, homie, because doesn't Crowder do that himself all the time? Doesn't Steven Crowder do that all the time? I guess then again, it's possible that, you know, he obviously is referring to causing a rift within the conservative followers.
I'll show you the quotes. I'll show you the text messages. I'll show you everything. All of the stuff that we did not talk about because we were giving people the opportunity to do the right thing. Taking the hits, taking the hit pieces, dealing with all of it to give people the opportunity to do the right thing. They chose not to. I wonder why Jared decided to release his video yesterday. Just for some backstory, there had been no communication between our attorneys for a couple of weeks, so there was no impetus for it. The document compelling him to give a deposition had already expired on March 15th. So when he released his video yesterday, he asked you to contribute money for a lawsuit that did not exist, unless he's had a lawsuit that he would like to file, which he indicated maybe that was the case. We had not sued Jared. We simply asked Jared to knock it off. I'll get into the timeline of that. But Tuesday, March 26th, was the day that he chose to release his video.
Yeah, but there was a cease and desist letter. So yeah, it wasn't a lawsuit, but it was threatening to escalate this if they don't shut up. About what? I hope that we get more details.
Video. I wonder if it had anything to do with Wednesday, March 27th being the 5th day of mediation between Steven and Hillary. Why release it the day before mediation? Mediation is a great opportunity for people to come together and resolve their differences peacefully. This is the 5th day. If you want to do some research on how many days it normally goes on during divorces, you can. It's not 5.
Why does he look so... He's not blinking. Are you okay? I literally don't know what point he's trying to make either. Like, Jared was talking about Crowder using the legal system and threatening legal action, etc., because he was talking or he was accusing Crowder of essentially stifling his free speech. What does this have to do with his divorce? What does this have to do with mediation?
Here's the timeline. On October 27th, 2023, we filed our original Rule 202 petition that Jared mentioned. Rule 202 petition is basically saying, hey, we're serious. Please knock it off and tell us how far this went. On October 30th, we sent a cease and desist. At that time, October 30th, 2023, all Jared had to do was respond in writing saying that he was going to knock off what he was doing. He was going to stop violating his agreement that he voluntarily entered into.
Right. And that's where all the contention is. He's going off of that. Like, he violated the agreement he voluntarily went into. How voluntarily did he really go into this? Because we watched his video and it didn't seem like it was as voluntary as you're actually making it out to be. Second of all, the agreement that you wanted him to stick to seems like it was really outrageous.
He chose not to. Legal fees associated with writing us a letter would have been minimal, if any at all. And I have the receipts as to why we sent this to him in the first place.
Can we see them?
After around 6 years of no communication in this way. December 14th, we had one amendment to our Rule 202 petition. Not quite the exhausting of the court as Jared made it seem, that we were trying to bully him with the law. March 15th, that 202 expired. March 26th, Jared releases his video.
A person may petition the court for an order authorizing the taking of a deposition on oral examination or written questions, either to perpetuate or obtain the person's own testimony or that of any other person for use in an anticipated suit, or to investigate a potential claim or suit. Okay, so usually a 202 would be not great anyway, because then it's suggesting that they're now fishing around for something to build a lawsuit against you. So if this would expire, would it not go to that? Then would it not then follow that because this thing expired, they're no longer at least actively pursuing a lawsuit against this person? So he then feels like it's at least a little safer to speak up about it. I don't have a great understanding of Rule 202 petitions, admittedly. So if I am incorrect, then I stand corrected.
Jared, like I said, was raising money for a lawsuit that didn't even exist until this morning. It now exists because Jared has shown that he will continue to violate his NDA to be a part of this scheme to assimilate damaging PR assets to put pressure on Stephen in the divorce. I'll show you all the receipts, guys.
Why though? But like, seriously, how is Jared benefiting from this?
He's actively flirted with violations in the past, and now he's involving himself in a private divorce for which he was recruited to leverage the company as part of this long-standing plan. And I'm going to say it over and over again to make sure you guys understand. We've been living with this for the last year and a half. Per Hillary's father, here come the receipts. I hate being in this position, guys. It gives me no pleasure to go down this road. I am being forced to go down this road by their actions to defend this company, to defend the over 30 employees that work for this company. I am not a guy that picked.
How many of those 30 employees have seen Crowder's penis unsolicited?
This is the court filing.
A court filing is still someone's opinion. It's somebody writing something down, what they think happened, as truthfully as they think, and then signing it and submitting it to a court. It's not like these things have been thoroughly investigated and concluded to be the case.
For Jared, we'll be releasing that so everybody can have access to it. Of course, taking steps to redact personal information because we would never want to dox anyone. Here is Hillary's father in a group text thread to the family. And it's a message that was liked by Hillary. The type of team I want. They understand right-wing media. They are familiar with who Stephen is and that world and the things that would destabilize him. Remember that word, destabilize. Fully understand and agree that Hillary's goals and expectations for the outcome of this divorce are reasonable and attainable. Not necessarily according to Texas family law precedent, but by employing a media/Brian Friedman and PR strategy that will significantly threaten this public persona and brand. That's
That was
from
2022.
Yes. This has been the plan from the beginning, guys. This is what we have been dealing with behind the scenes and not commenting on.
There's a lot of questions I still have. However, this does add credibility to their claim of an attempted extortion. We have to be objective about it, and it certainly does bolster that claim. However, it doesn't really mean, it doesn't have anything to do really with Jared or any of his claims thus far.
We'll get to Brian Friedman here in just a second, but this is where Jared gets involved. After 6 years of no communication, Jared gets roped into Hillary's plan, gets involved in this plan. February 17th of 2023, and just leave that overlay up for me, Hillary and Jared met in Atlanta to discuss their strategy, and they took this picture, How He Changed My Mind. I guess a proposed book that Hillary would like to write to apply more pressure to Stephen.
I just don't even know what to do with that. It could mean anything. How he changed my mind? Like I said, so far their defense is really just like casting doubt and being like, hey, maybe it's extortion. Is it extortion, or is it something that is going to, when they say destabilize him, maybe they mean something that's going to bring to light his bad behavior? That's completely plausible as well. Also, again, for extortion, you would need to, there would need to be money involved as well, but I think that they're going to get to that soon, because I think there's something involving one of them asking for money or something.
Per Jared's text messages, any scenario where Hillary and I team up is the end of him, meaning Stephen. It is his worst nightmare. Watch the real fear enter his eye when Tim asks the question.
I would love to look at all of these emails, see what's this really in context to? Where is the extortion, first and foremost? And two, him saying this could just mean that your ex-wife and your ex-good close friend teaming up against you isn't good, because they're the people that know you best. And if you have these people coming out against you, saying that you're a bad person, saying that you're abusive, it's not good. It absolutely could be your worst nightmare. And again, I keep going back to this, but like Crowder having everybody sign these things and trying to stifle Jared to the point that Jared alleges, you must be hiding something.
Can you believe the actions of people that are out in public saying they're trying to do the right thing, and yet behind the scenes scheming?
There's no evidence that they're scheming. They met at the aquarium and went to Olive Garden, and there was a binder that you have jumped to a conclusion on. There was like a message the dad said saying that he wants a team that knows something about narcissists and will destabilize him. What they're trying to do is, and conservatives do this great. They're so good at building patterns and looking at like things and then drawing conclusions, then being like, this is the story now. I have a narrative now constructed with these little bits of information that are lacking context. Like, for example, the first email they showed where the dad said, I want a team that's going to destabilize Crowder. Is that actually the team they got? Or is that just him venting about like, this is kind of in theory, like in a perfect world, the type of team I would like, LOL, but obviously, we can't do that. Or like, we don't know because they aren't giving us context. But I think that's a good question to remember, because the first email they showed did add some credibility to their claim.
It's going to be worse in just a minute, guys. Unfortunately, this isn't a fun day, but it's a day that has to happen where people need to know what's really going on. February 21st, 2023, Jared says this to Hillary. I think there's a scenario where several of us would be willing to attest to all of that.
All of what? Where is the context? Attest to what? Him being abusive, shitty?
I just don't want him anywhere near those kids. That really, really disturbs me. Why do this?
What do you mean? We don't know the context. I think there are many people who can attest to that. I don't want him around the kids. You realize that lacking context there almost makes it look worse for Crowder. We don't know what this is in relation to. Him saying that I think several of us would be willing to attest to all of that, whatever that is, and then following it up with, I just don't want him anywhere near those kids. That really disturbs me. You realize that makes Crowder sound bad. This sounds like Jared is saying that him and several other people are willing to attest to something that makes Crowder not safe to be around his kids. They're giving us this tiny little bit of context, And they expect us to jump to a conclusion in which Crowder is the good guy and Crowder is the innocent victim. But they're not giving us the context. It gives just as much room to jump to a negative perception.
This was done specifically in order to get more than Hillary would get in court.
They're not even giving additional context. Attest to what? What is he willing to attest to that is so bad that he doesn't want Crowder around his own children?
Or that Stephen even offered her, because his offers have been more generous than Hillary would ever get in court, per Hillary. From a text exchange between Hillary and her mother. Again, all public information, guys. This is a part of court filings, not us pulling anything, not us opining. The financial offer was serious, and the business valuator and both of my attorneys agreed the financial offer was good. And while that's better than I would get in court, I want more freedom than that, referring to as well.
Wait, dude, they're giving less context in the video. People in chat were like, are you going to watch the video or just read the tweets? And now I'm watching the video and they're giving less context. You realize that if they don't address this, that there's been no demand for money or anything like this, which then, how the is it extortion?
Remember that. The financial offer was serious, and the business valuator and both of my attorneys agreed the financial offer was good. Offer was rejected.
Okay, so then how the hell could it have been extortion?
Why? Let's go back to the plan.
The plan.
To assimilate...
Go back to the plan. This dude... Oh my God, this guy, he's hard to take seriously. All right, Q, take us back to the plan.
To assimilate damaging PR assets and wage a negative publicity campaign against Stephen. And then, after doing that, they could make it all go away for Stephen. Per Hillary's father to Hillary and other family members in a group text. The longer the divorce proceedings go on, the worse the outcome for SC, Stephen.
Okay, hold on, wait. Yesterday, Hillary and I sat with the attorney Mark and his team for 1 hour. Please take this time to read. Consider Hillary's choice of custody will be an uphill battle, but it's certainly a possible outcome. The longer the divorce proceedings go on, the worse the outcome for Stephen Crowder. Any agreement for temporary custody will become a... what is that saying? Marker? And set a standard for permanent custody. Just really quick, sorry to interrupt the video, but some new information has come out. I'm now seeing some claims of people saying that Crowder is actually pushing for full custody of the children, and that could be why Hillary is refusing his offers of money and whatnot. Rather than a massive conspiracy going on, it seems far more likely that maybe, just maybe, no amount of money is enough for Hillary to just give up custody of the kids. However, I will say this is developing, and based on what I'm reading, it does still seem to be disputed, and I can't find any full verification on this yet, so take with this what you will, but this certainly seems like it would add a lot more nuance to the situation.
Developing damaging OK PR assets should be pursued. That deliverable is up to us, not the legal team. I wonder why. And at the right time, Mark Scroggins, the first of 3 attorneys, will show SC the path to make it all go away. Do you understand what they're saying there, guys? We're going to wage a campaign against Stephen. Not to tell the truth about Stephen, but to misrepresent things that are going on.
PR asset should be pursued. I'm not sure what this means. This does seem like it adds at least like claims that they're trying to damage his image maybe, but still not sure what exactly the extortion is. Saying like show them the path to make it all go away. Admittedly, that sounds nefarious, but what is it then? If he already offered her more money than she could get for court.
So that we can put pressure on him. Doesn't matter if these things are true or not. People are going to run with it because, hey, Stephen Crowder tells some jokes sometimes that offend people.
Yeah, no, so that's actually not why at all that people are running with it. It's that you are failing to actually establish a coherent narrative here. Even if this is true, because I will give it to you, the thing you just showed doesn't look great. Saying that they're trying to pursue damaging PR stuff or whatever. Okay, fine. Maybe we can talk about that. But then again, is there anything to pursue? Like, people go after businesses and companies all the time. And if you don't have any skeletons in the closet, that's usually not a big deal.
doesn't.
Oh, yeah. And the incoherent narrative is, why do they want to put all this pressure on him? Either way, she was offered money, turned it down, and now just wants to put more pressure on him? Why? What is the goal here?
So they're going to run with it, and they're going to put pieces out in the newspaper. And then when the pressure is so much, when we have wrecked his life enough, at the right time, and I quote, bring it back up, at the right time, Mark, referring to Hillary's first divorce attorney, will show SC the path to make it all go away. They both want money, maybe fame. They don't care if it's at the expense or well-being.
They were already, wait, Hillary was already offered money and she turned it down. So that doesn't make any sense, but okay.
Of the children or the family, or if they do, they're hiding that fact very well. And look, based on what we've discussed, they don't believe that Mug Club should even exist because it should all belong to them. Having an undercover unit? No, that money belongs to Hillary.
Didn't you guys, I mean, what Jared alleged was that you guys tried to take his recording equipment, all of his studio equipment that he's owned himself. You guys tried to take his Twitter account, is what he alleged.
This is the through line with every single point. And this is something new. Not new to us, but new to you. And I want to tell you this from the perspective of somebody who hates to have to do this. I do not in any way want to be in the position that I am in right now, having to react to people's bad decisions, but I don't have any other choice because it has been made clear by their actions over the last year and a half plus that there is no other way to say, guys, stop what you're doing. You have to quit. You have to do the right thing. You have to honor your agreements.
Is it at all possible that they are simply trying to work together to bring something out about Crowder that they really don't, that the Crowder and his team, or maybe just Crowder himself, really doesn't want out there? If they're not taking money, then how, it just doesn't follow that this is extortion. It sounds much more like still Crowder and the whole Louder with Crowder brand or whatever is in turmoil and is desperately trying to keep people quiet about something.
And so this company is suing Hillary for extortion against us. We filed a lawsuit against Hillary, her family, and media reps for tortious interference and their extortion conspiracy scheme, which I will lay out in detail. I take no pleasure in that.
Okay, we get it, dude. You're so noble and good, and oh, it pains me to have to do. Shut the fuck up and show us your actual evidence, okay? Because so far you've just kind of given us like some sort of vague maybes, and that's it.
I wish everybody would go and just do the right thing, and we could all get on with our lives. And you can tune into this show and see updates about news, comedy, everything that you love about this show.
We don't
additional
care.
here in this company. Let's talk about some things that you know and maybe some things that you don't know. So, one of the things you know.
Look at how he's like picking up the mug. He's like, the humanoids prefer to then pick up a mug when they begin to talk. So, today, let's talk about the things that you already know. Like, that's literally what it feels like watching this guy.
Ring footage, right? Everybody remembers that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my machine just froze.
Yeah, we remember the ring footage.
Steven admitted he's not a perfect guy. There are definitely faults. Arguments happen. People always...
So Steven Crowder, a super rich millionaire, had only one car, didn't want his wife to go out because he didn't want to be stuck home all day, even though presumably she was stuck home all day when he was out. But again, like I haven't seen the clip in a while. I would need to refresh my memory on it, but I'm pretty sure it was a little bit more than just like an argument, because I can tell you right now, couples get in arguments. That's true. That's normal. It's healthy. But when couples get in arguments, they don't become abusive with one another. They don't become verbally or emotionally abusive with one another. So him just saying like, he's not perfect, you know, like couples fight, they get in arguments. It wasn't that they got in an argument. You're right. Couples do fight. But it was the fact that he was being emotionally abusive towards her.
But here's what you don't know. Hillary deleted all of the other footage from that house on the Ring cameras and the Lake residence when a court expressly barred her from doing so. How many hours? Over 2,000 hours. Also, 8,000 hours never even handed over.
Yeah, Hillary deleted the emails. Oh my God. A statement from defendants was also included claiming that the edited video evidenced years of alleged abuse and that Miss Crowder claims she was forced to hide as she battled to save her broken marriage. Defendants intentionally and maliciously leaked incomplete and edited video footage to damage the reputation. Miss Crowder then intentionally deleted all other footage that depicted the marital home, as well as all footage from their vacation lake residence, while under express order from the court barring such actions. But again, this is not actually the truth. This isn't like, this is what happened. One side in the court is saying, then they did this. There's going to be a defense, of course. Okay, I did one quick search. Ring Security holds footage for 180 days in the cloud, which is about 4,320 hours. These videos are automatically deleted by default after 60 days in the US and 30 days in some countries outside of the US. Videos can be saved up to 180 days. Oh, that totally casts doubt now that she would have intentionally deleted them.
That's right. All the other Ring footage from multiple cameras in multiple residences has either been actively destroyed or never even handed over in the first place. Here's another thing you know.
Now I'm really starting to suspect that maybe this is just like an automatic thing. And maybe that was one of the few videos that she remembered when that happened, and you can save like individual videos to not delete. Or maybe you can download specific videos, but the rest of them are going to automatically clear if you don't.
There are family claims about hardships. And we're having a problem, I guess, with the overlays right now, so we can't show you exactly, but I will make all of this stuff available on our website. I'll make sure you guys have full access to all of this. It's not us. This is court documents. This is stuff that has been filed.
Keyword, filed. A lot of people filed court documents about election fraud that were then ultimately thrown out and turned out to be bullshit. Just if there are court documents filed does not actually mean that this is like an objective.
Claim hardships. Here's what you don't know. Hillary's getting $25,000 per month from Stephen. Per month.
I like this part.
$300,000 a year, no taxes held out of it. In Texas, all divorce-related attorneys' fees are paid by the estate. Stephen's the only one actively contributing to the estate right now, so you can do the math there.
Wasn't it Stephen's choice to be the only one contributing to the estate?
This is the first time that we know a dime has been spent from Hillary on a lawsuit that isn't coming from the estate, also known as Stephen. I don't like that, but I don't have any other options.
A lot of people, including just Pearly Things and other, rejects from society, are trying to spin this as like Hillary is now getting $25K a month for child support. You can literally disprove this just by reading this. Watch. You may have seen these public claims about hardships. Fact. Hillary is paid $25K a month by Stephen. This screenshot looks like the 29th or maybe 24th of January 2024. And it says, the judge in the divorce proceedings ordered that Louder with Crowder has to pay me $25,000 per month pursuant to a temporary order during the duration of the divorce. This is a temporary thing. Most likely alimony. Because if Crowder wanted to be the good trad guy, odds are he was expecting his wife to be the trad wife, the stay-at-home mom. She wasn't working. Also, during the duration of the divorce, why would you be paying $25K a month for child support just during the duration of the divorce? This is clearly just alimony and a temporary thing. And then they try to say, Hillary's out here saying on Twitter how hard everything is for her, but she's getting $25K per month. And the tweet they show is this, her literally just tweeting that she's looking for a job. Unironically, seeking opportunities, looking for work that is remote with flexibility. I'm open to anything, particularly work that will allow me to be present at home with the twins. Thank you in advance to anyone that's willing to help me in this pursuit by sharing this post. I look forward to bringing my diligence, hard work ethic, creativity, and ability to think outside the box, yada yada. Here's my LinkedIn. So, looking for work, By the way, this tweet was March, when she signed something in January saying temporarily she's receiving $25K a month. Odds are that's alimony, and odds are if you're to continue receiving alimony, which is temporary, you have to also be pursuing a job. You have to also be looking for work. This literally follows all of that.
Here's something else you don't know. Hillary hired entertainment superstar lawyer Brian Friedman as part of her PR attack against Stephen. I don't know if you guys remember who Brian Friedman is, but he represented Trevor Bauer's false accuser, releasing images that were doctored. What he knew at the time, what he didn't know, still up for a little bit of debate, but it looks like there was some reason to believe maybe this claim wasn't.
Former Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer and the San Diego woman who first accused him of sexual assault, triggering the investigation that led to an unprecedented suspension from Major League Baseball, have settled their civil lawsuits outside of court with no money exchanged. Bauer sued the woman for defamation in April 2022, and the woman countersued for sexual battery 4 months later. Brian Friedman wrote the following in a statement. In April 2022, Trevor Bauer sued Lindsay Hill for defamation, and what turned out to be an outstanding resolution for Lindsay. Neither Lindsay nor anyone on her behalf paid anything to Bauer, not a single dollar. Even better, Lindsay received $300,000 from her insurance company. Based on that payment, Lindsay agreed to settle the lawsuit. Now that the lawsuit is over, Lindsay looks forward to helping others. I'm not sure I can find much about this. Okay, well, either way, we have that she hired a lawyer. That's it, like literally.
Trevor's been exonerated. It's been proven that this person lied about all of this. Maybe she even lied to Friedman. Who knows? But Friedman was all too willing to rush out and ruin a man's career that I believe had just signed a $100 million contract to play baseball and subsequently lost that contract.
He represented somebody, and he wasn't exonerated. She dropped the stuff. They agreed to settle outside of court.
Doesn't matter that he was proven right. It just matters that the lie was put out there and that the campaign was waged against him. And Friedman represented the same journalist who leaked the Ring video. Here's something else you know. Media hit pieces. We all saw that, right, Tim? Hit pieces coming out against us last year. Seemed like they were planned and orchestrated.
Yeah, they went one after the other.
One of the claims was that Stephen had revealed his genitalia to people in the office. We talked about that. We addressed all of that.
Here's what they didn't see our Terminator 2
sketch, yeah. Or when you have to wear, like really thin.
Again, the allegations were not about sketches. They were during times in which they weren't filming.
Here's what you don't know. Jared exposed his penis in professional settings to Stephen. When they were at Wham Radio, he would expose himself in a way that only Stephen could see. And then for an hour, Stephen would have to sit there talking to people at the radio station about the business dealings of the show and not break. And to them, it was funny then and funny now.
Well, he showed me his PP first. I saw your balls first. Nuh-uh. What the f*** is going on at Louder with Crowder headquarters? Even so, like, if that's the case, that's just gross and messed up. But, like, the allegations were more than just Jared saying this. There were various different employees and former employees saying this was a normal occurrence and something that made a lot of people uncomfortable.
Here's some other key facts that I want to bring up. And tell me, do you think these facts seem destabilizing to you? And just, first off, just think about that. We want to do things that will destabilize him. We want to put enough pressure on him that he will give us everything that we ask for, and then Mark Scroggins can come in. Their text message guys can come in and show Stephen how to make it all go away. That's exactly what was in the text message. Let's start with Joe Lewis, Stephen's dog. Hillary tried to have Joe Lewis.
Really? We're going to go over how they tried to take the dog. Apparently they tried to take a dog or something. I don't care.
It's so clear. Tried to take his dog away to destabilize him as part of the plan. Tried to take me away. I now know.
Take the dog away. Wait. You mean their plan to destabilize him was destabilize him mentally? And they were like, we'll start with his dog. Like, I'm sorry, man. It's just, this is really hard to believe. And again, they keep going back to the court thing. Don't forget, these are just court filings. These are just people saying, one side saying, yeah, they tried to take my dog. They said my dog was aggressive. They lied about my dog. They want to destabilize me. And someone types it up and files it with the court. And they're saying, court documents, guys. This is what the court documents are saying.
Here's another thing that you may not know. The address where the children slept part of the time was intentionally doxed. Hillary sent a private
We're going to put
Unlisted.
these assets
Yes,
on
all the-
Twitter because we can't bring
Okay,
it up right
yeah,
now.
go to Twitter if you guys want to see these assets. We had our overlay
Thanks.
machine crashed at the worst possible time. Hillary sent the private and unlisted residential address to Jared. You know how I know it was private and unlisted? Because I was in charge of making sure it was so. Do you know why? To make sure that the kids were safe. Not everybody likes Steven. Some for very good reason. He comes off and he says a joke. Fine. You don't like that? Fine. If you want to use that, great reason. You don't like somebody because of a joke. But a lot of people don't like him because he pushes back on evil.
Pushes back on evil. Oh, is he trying to do the like takes one to know one thing?
And so to make sure that his family is protected, he goes through great lengths to make sure nobody knows where he lives. Hillary intentionally doxed it. I won't use the exact words. You can see it in the image. But it's evil.
Hillary sent the private and unlisted residential address to Jared. And then they're saying shortly after Jared received Steven's personal address, Steven received this threatening message. Watch it, poke holes, wrap in paper. I don't even know what this says.
Again, Jared's probably going to say, oh, come on, it was a joke. Okay. It's an unlisted address. Nobody knows where he lives. You didn't say who it was from. You just said, watch it, effing watch it on there. I know where that came from. The edited video. I get it. The additional context that I'm not even going into.
I mean, let's be honest. If Jared is telling the truth, then he's being intimidated, legally intimidated, and bullied by Crowder and his whole team for a long time. He sends one little thing. It said, watch it, watch it. Look, if a grown-ass man can whip his dick out in front of his employees and you can write that off as a joke, you can write off a package that says watch it on it. You can write that off as a little joke. Or maybe it wasn't a joke. Maybe it was somebody who had been intimidated by Crowder repeatedly, fighting back a little bit. Maybe, again, if we are to believe what Jared is saying. Maybe Jared is just trying to go after Crowder and has it out for Crowder for some reason. I don't know. Maybe. But so far, this is just, a lot of this is just like vague gestures, assumptions, trying to make these little connections.
How would you feel if the person that you had children with leaked your private home address, knowing that
They're trying to make it sound like she like tweeted out the private address.
I want to say a couple of things as I wrap this up. NDAs are a normal part of doing business. You sign an NDA voluntarily. Jared signed his voluntarily, and then he breached it. Didn't have to sign it. Could have left. Could have just left. Could have walked away. Didn't have to sign the exit. He signs it on the way in again. Didn't have to sign that either. Never. He voluntarily signed an agreement and then decided to break it. He also lied to you guys and said that I was asking for every single conversation with his friends and that I was telling him that he couldn't contact his friends. No.
Was there a non-compete thing? Non-compete agreements are contracts the companies use to reduce competition and prevent the spread of trade secrets. Like other contracts, a non-compete agreement is a binding document, and employees who sign them can't enter into direct competition with their former employer after leaving their job. But you also wanted him to sign this, which would have essentially kicked him out of any media thing that he wanted to work at. NDAs are kind of common. I'm fine with that. But they're skipping over the fact that Jared also alleged that they wanted him to sign a non-compete agreement.
That's not true. Look at the Form 202 petition that we put out there. I told Jared in that petition, basically like, hey, you have to stop talking about the company. The agreement that you made with us. And that can be as simple, like I said earlier, as making sure no address is divulged to where somebody sleeps with their young children. It's common. I'm not restricting your speech, Jared. I simply asked you to honor your agreement that you voluntarily entered into. And you had every opportunity to do the right thing before being sued today. But we'll get the lawsuit to you, I promise.
All right. Well, what do you guys think? What do you think of this defense thus far? I think the best thing that they're able to prove is that Jared and Hillary do seem to be interested.
None of this
in
had to happen.
Taking down Crowder or exposing him or something, but they didn't provide any light on the context. It disturbs me that he's around those kids. That's weird. Someone who you've known for that long doesn't usually say stuff like this about another person. And it seems more likely or believable that Jared and Hillary are just working together to bring to light stuff about Crowder that's bad for him, for publicity. What do you guys think? Very weak. Yeah, I would agree. It was a very weak defense. If you want to support the channel, please consider becoming a member today. Members get early access to videos, access to all the stream VODs, and exclusive access to emotes as well. So if you'd like to support the channel, become a member today.